Hello there, I am Colby Welles, and today I am doing a presentation on ADHD and its effects on overall well-being. Without further ado, let's take a look at it. So in order to proceed further into this presentation, I am going to need to first explain what exactly ADHD is. Now, ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder. And basically what it does is it'll make it quite easy for you to be distracted by small things and give you issues with overall social skills, as you'll seem a lot more like hyper and super full of energy, because that's something that does to you. So as you can see, here's our survey. The answers are pretty bland. Majority male, majority over the age of 19. Majority does indeed have ADHD. Majority has experienced negative side effects of medication. And majority do take medication. Pretty bland answers. It's kind of what you'd expect, right? Okay, so up next here we have procrastination. Now, procrastination takes quite a big place in ADHD, as it kind of like messes with what you're able to do, right? Like, for instance, let's say you have a big project due in school or work, and you like hyper procrastinate on it, right? You don't get it done until last minute. Then you do it all on the very last day, and it does not go very well for you, to say the least, and you fail or you get fired because it's so bad because you procrastinated. Up next, we will talk about ADHD and its effects on one's ability to focus. So ADHD mostly, like, for instance, if there's a topic you're interested in, you'll be able to like hyper focus on it really easily, and it'll be really easy to do all the way throughout. However, let's say you have something you're not so interested in, then you'll become almost completely zoned out, and it'll be really hard to focus and pay attention to what you are trying to learn. Up next will be ADHD's effect on social life. Now, as stated earlier, ADHD does cause one to be a lot more hyperactive, which may push people away and make it a lot harder for said person with ADHD to be able to fully communicate. This can lead to feelings of isolation and potential unhappiness. However, it can also have some benefits, as you can be really, really strong in some aspects of which may be important for socializing. So overall, this is more pros and cons than anything. Another way that ADHD affects one's social life is how it makes it a lot harder to focus on like body language and people's tone of voice, right? Like, I have accidentally been rude to people many times before, as I didn't understand that I was using an aggressive tone of voice, right? So like stuff like that can also negatively contribute to one's social life. Now you're probably wondering, like, who is affected by ADHD? So 3.5% of the population would be affected by ADHD. Now, that might not seem like a lot, but it's actually quite a few people. A total of 280 million people, which is quite a lot of people, even though it's such a small amount of population. This is really all who is affected. Families of those people can also be affected, along with friends, as they are experiencing ADHD for themselves and learning what that person has it like with their ADHD. So for ADHD, there are many treatments. However, untreated ADHD often does not go too well. Some of the possibilities are things like mental health, so depression, anxiety, other mental disorders, right? You can also get led into feeling trapped within yourself. You can it really plays into like what you look upon it as, right? If you see it as a negative, it will definitely be a negative for you, right? And if you untreat it, it will definitely be a lot worse than if you left it treated, right? If you go and treat it, it'll be a lot better for you than untreated. On the topic of untreated ADHD, we will go into how to treat ADHD. So the first and most basic way would be medication. Some medications include bifenton and ETNS. A few other potential options to work with ADHD could be a lot of physical activity and behavior counseling or therapy. Some rather interesting facts I found about ADHD is how men are 3 times as likely to suffer from ADHD, and that there has been a 42% raise in cases of ADHD over the past 8 years. So my personal opinion on ADHD is that it is both a blessing and a curse. If you learn how to cope with it properly, it will not negatively affect your life. You can like kind of use it to your advantage because, well, there are many disadvantages to having ADHD, such as inability to focus, social issues, and all of that. There are also some more positives to it, such as increased creativity, such as the ability to hyper-focus on a topic that you're interested in, right? That's all things that can like allow you to improve in life, right? And with this ability to hyper-focus, you're able to learn new skills easier, right? New skills come along quite easily. I have noticed that, at least with my ADHD, I'm able to improve on new things really quickly. So that's something I would consider to be a pro. Overall, I would say that ADHD is not a barrier to well-being. While it does have its consequences, it can indeed be a barrier to well-being if untreated. However, there are ways around that, and there are ways you can utilize it for the better. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.